Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. This week's turning into something of prototype week here at JOMW Mansions. It was the turn of the May in Hudson on Thursday, and today it's this, the Côte d'Azur by Amant. This one live on Kickstarter with about a week to run. I'll leave a link in the description to that. You should definitely check out the Kickstarter. I love looking at these prototypes. It gives me a chance to strip back some of the hyperbole, shall we say, associated with a Kickstarter campaign, and this Amant has no shortage of hyperbole. If you click on the page, you'll see a video voiced over by a man with a beautiful voice. Lots of beautiful people doing beautiful things in beautiful places. We have speedboats, vintage cars, stately homes, and such like. You will also see claims that this Côte d'Azur is the perfect companion whether you're climbing the Himalayas or having a casual lunch in Santorini. Indeed, Amant refers to it as the ultimate explorer watch. However, I don't think this Amant is what Amant thinks this Amant is. I like it, but what is it? Let's flip the camera and find out. Let's all see if we can work out what kind of watch Amant does actually have on its hands then. So Amant travel through time. I quite like that, but then I am a bit of a cheeseball, in case you hadn't worked that out already for some reason. Another outer box, another inner box. This one is a prototype, looks like it's been through the ringer a couple of times already, probably around the world, and it'll be gone just as soon as it arrived. So we're going to do dimensions and specifications today. We're not going to do a movement accuracy report because it just arrived and it's just going back out the door. I simply haven't had the time. But with the ETA 2824 in it, it shouldn't be a problem. Yes, the ETA 2824. Yours on the wrist on the super early bird Kickstarter special for $325 US. You can see why I was interested to get my hands on this one then. No loom shot though, because rather surprisingly there is no loom. Now here's where my difficulty with Amant's claim that this is the ultimate explorer watch begins. If I was heading up the Himalayas, I'd want some bloody loom, that's for sure. I'd also want a couple of decent Sherpas, but that's another matter. I would certainly want loom on my watch. That's why I don't think this Amant is what Amant thinks this watch is. I think it's something a little bit different. So nice set of dimensions actually, 41mm in diameter, only 10.5mm thick though. One of the advantages of using that 2824 is that you can have a much slimmer watch than you ordinarily would if you were using a Seiko or something. Lug to lug of about 48.5, so wears quite compactly in spite of the 41 dimension in the diameter. 22mm lug width, tapering down to 20 at the clasp, so there is a little bit of taper there. This one weighing in, sized up for my 7-inch wrist at 160 grams, so a decent bit of wrist presence, but as it's a metal bracelet, that weight goes all the way around, so again it wears well. They describe this as 316L surgical steel, pretty much par for the course, and that's throughout on the bracelet. We've got solid end links. I'll pop the case back to show you in just a minute as well. Now we do have a bit of a mixture of different finishes on the case. We've got this fairly pronounced vertical brushing around the bezel. We've got a much smoother brushing on the bracelet, and we've got a little bit of polishing on the lugs and on the side of the case. And perhaps you noticed already, we don't have a sign crown today. It is, however, screw down, giving this watch 100 meters of water resistance. I guess that certainly satisfies it. Exploring credentials. Now the dial here today, they call it navy blue. In certain circumstances that I've been wearing, it looks black, it looks grey. It's actually really, really pretty. I'll get a zoom in. So just a printed dial today, but with applied indices, and I think one of this watch's nicer features, that's for sure. Those little hexagonal indices raised in the middle really do catch the light very entertainingly, and as you can see there's a tricolor down there at the 6 o'clock. The blue, perhaps a little bit too dark, tends to disappear into that navy dial. They may have been better served by bringing that up a notch, but then it wouldn't have been a tricolor, would it? It would have been something else, so I can't critique them for that. But very nice dial indeed, and as I said, looks like a variety of different colours depending on the light conditions. Popped a link in the bracelet, and there is the ETA 2824 beating away in there. Very much the top feature of this watch, this Swiss movement. They must be getting a little more common, these ones, because this is the second in a week that I've come across, and it's the second in a week without Swiss made on the dial. So clearly this one made in Asia then, but using the ETA 2824 in it. 38-hour power reserve, 25 joules as advertised on the rotor there. Bit of a workhorse movement, but accurate and reliable. Shouldn't need serviced all that often either. But a very plain case back there. Now screw down to give it the 100 meters water resistance and solid end links on the bracelet, as you can see. I asked a man, was this a final production model? They said that most of the features that we see here today are going to continue. They might do some etching. This is supposed to be a limited edition piece apparently. The bracelet is a pretty decent one overall, nice consistent brushing on all of the links, solid links, nice chunky little links, just push pins, but then that's no problem at this price point. We've got the Amant logo etched into the security clasp here. My problem with this bracelet, and indeed my biggest problem with this watch, is however that it uses a press clasp. You may know, having seen a couple of my vids by now, I've got a thing about press clasps. I reckon if you're spending over $200 US, the least a manufacturer can do is put a milled clasp on it. The fact that this is press is a permanent reminder that they have saved a couple of dollars. I guess they're running this one a little bit lean, giving you the ETA 2824 for $325 US from a micro brand, but there are a couple of compromises. The unsigned crown and that press clasp are the two most obvious. And there is the watch on my 7-inch wrist, and I think it looks fantastic. A little bit of AR coating on the flat sapphire crystal today. The whole watch glinting really nicely. Those applied indices do really add a lot of vitality to that dial. Nice set of dimensions, 41, should suit the majority of wrists. Nice consistent brushing on the bracelet as mentioned. So if I don't think this is an Explorer watch, then what kind of watch do I think it is? Well, what watch doesn't have lume? A dress watch. I think this is an office piece. I think this is a really nice, well-made ETA 2824 powered Monday to Friday desk watch. It also has a 10-year warranty, providing you either get the movement serviced by Amant or by one of their authorized agents, not to be sniffed at in a watch at this price point. I think if you're looking for an office watch, not perhaps one that you are going to climb the Himalayas with, the Amant definitely worth considering. So there you have it, the Côte d'Azur by Amant then. I actually really like this watch, but I certainly wouldn't take it if I was climbing the Himalayas. I think it's a really nice, understated but classy looking 9 to 5 Monday to Friday piece with a decent movement at a good price. Shame about the clasp and a couple of other small details, but certainly worth considering for $325. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.